Hey everybody, this week on Troy's Views, we talk about waking up, passion, and moving forward. A little bit of band practice, more to come.
This constant ringing inside my brain. Most people said I would be dead. Take me back to better days. Forget about it, life's better said. No more bitter inside my soul. I took the wheel and I took control. The show must go on.
Hey friends, Troy Burke here. Welcome back to Troy's Views. And I have my first interview. We're going to be interviewing Mr. JC. And what we're talking about tonight is a little bit about your passion, a little bit about his passion, what's driven him in life, how he's woke in life, when he woke, and how he sees his life and his surroundings now, as well as mine. I will elaborate back and forth. So basically, we just got done with band practice, and this is kind of like a sneak peek for you guys of some of the stuff that him and I talk about. We grew up together. We've been playing music together for years, and I'm very fortunate to have him agreeing to do this interview with me. So with that in mind, I took some notes, and I'm going to interview JC. So here we go. All right, JC. A few weeks back, you and I were talking. You used to live in a gray house down the road from me, and you told me a pretty amazing story. And I remember you saying this is what woke you up in life. Can you tell us a little bit about the gray house experience?
Yeah, well, the Gray House experience, yeah, that was something else. Well, this was a place that me and my brother had was renting a place here in town, and I was always a skeptic. Ghost.
Are they real? Are they not?
Yeah,
That kind of thing.
and this is still weird to me. I mean, this has been over a little over a year now, and it still sometimes makes me think I'm crazy in my head, but I know I'm not.
Sure. I seen the pictures, so I know you're not.
I didn't really believe in ghosts, and I gotta say, my brother lived there before I did. I moved in with him shortly after he had moved in there, and he would always tell me stories of things going on, weird things in the house. I just kind of go along with him, even though I wasn't buying it,
Sure.
wasn't believing it. I would go along with it just to
Not argue.
not argue and for conversation, I guess. And that was until I moved into the house. And as time goes on, I started slowly noticing things myself, or, witnessing things, a lot of footsteps, talking when there's nobody around, or, seeing shadows that move on their own when nobody else is around but me, and
You're fully
just,
awake.
yeah, fully awake. And I still, even after seeing several things, over the course of the first couple months, I would make up an excuse in my head to myself, trying to make up a logical excuse for it. And now this is until one day I wake up, and I'm sleeping upstairs. I had a bedroom in the upstairs of the house, and I had thought I heard my brother and some friends downstairs talking. I got up out of bed. I was going to go downstairs and join the conversation. And, I come up on the landing of a stairway. There's three, these bouncy balls like to see kids, like 3 or 4-year-old kid. They get on and bounce, sit on.
Sure.
Well, she had a couple of those, and another ball that was just a little bit smaller than those, and they're perfectly stacked on the landing of this stairway, not touching anything, nothing touching them. They're just. I thought this was a joke, you know. I thought this was a prank.
Sure.
I thought that my brother and his friend had
Strung it up.
manipulated the balls or something, you know, glued them together or something, was playing a joke on me.
Sure.
And I was mad about it. I remember walking on down the stairway, and I get to the landing, and I just reach out and make contact with this ball, and they fall apart.
Wow.
And it was at that moment that I think is when I knew that something was off. You know, something was really, really wrong. Weird.
Be enough to freak anybody out.
And, you know, I would notice, and it wasn't just me, it was me and my brother, and there was another fellow living in the house with us that would, we would get lots of random pictures pop up on our phones, you know, at just different times. And these would be pictures, not just the pictures shot off into the living room or somewhere, or the kitchen or whatever, but, you know, going back through and looking, and you notice there's always what they call orbs.
Right.
You know, an orb
Caught a
in
few
the
of those
pictures.
myself, yeah.
And so I kind of started learning to, I started taking pictures and stuff of my own. Try to see what I could come up with. You know, I started doing some digging.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm sitting at home one night by myself. My brother's at work, and I'm sitting watching TV in the house a little after midnight. Stairway off to my left side, my left peripheral, and I see flickering of light in the corner of my eye, and I'm thinking that I had left the TV or something on upstairs, you know. Is that a big screen TV up here? And I go and check, and that was not the case. So I started, you know, I sat back down in the recliner, and I started snapping some pictures around, you know, see if I could catch some of them orbs. And gotta say, what my camera picked up this time wasn't an orb. In fact, it was something that made me feel about this small. And you know how you got on your phone where you could turn your camera on to push the button down and it just keeps on flashing, taking pictures until you let off of it.
Right.
And that's what I did, and aimed toward the stairway, towards the landing of the stair, where I had seen them same balls that were stacked up there before. And I snapped 32 pictures, and I go back through the gallery afterwards, and I look, and you know, I get 28 pictures that are nothing, blank stairway, and then on the 29th frame, I got a picture of a little girl.
I've seen this, folks. This is real.
A little girl,
Full view.
ghostly figure now, you know, not a real flesh and blood girl.
Like a real person, but Caspered out.
Now, she's just standing there on the stairway, watching me, holding what appears to be a baby doll or a teddy bear in her hand. I don't know if it was somebody that had died there in the house, or I don't know why she was there, but she was.
So you guys had a new friend.
I know, I gotta say that it scared me at first, and it still is. It's really creepy and spooky, you know, but this is when I started waking up, and really paying attention to things, you know. Started paying attention to details that I hadn't really paid attention to before, things that I overlooked.
Like anything's possible?
Yes,
Sort of thing?
and it's amazing the digging that I know I have done personally just for myself, for my own self-satisfaction. I found that everything is right in front of your face.
Hidden in plain sight.
It's there for you to figure out and notice. And it is kind of disturbing and scary, but also it is exciting to. You understand what I mean? Say at
Absolutely.
the same time, exciting but scary, and
exciting.
it's different to me.
Exciting. I think I know what you mean. It's exciting because, wow, this is actually true. This isn't bullshit. This is the real McCoy.
This is really happening right here, right now, and I see it with my own two eyes, and I'm wide awake. I'm not drinking or on drugs, and
Right.
I
Stone cold sober.
stone cold sober
And seeing this.
and awake. Yes, and it changes you. It really changes you.
Well, I think that's the importance to when you, like you were saying, everything is hidden in plain sight. And once you start waking up, no matter how you wake up, like I woke up when I quit clouding my brain with drugs and mainly alcohol. As you know, I was a pretty raging alcoholic for quite a long time. But once I got off alcohol, I started out myself with guided meditations of a night, which I had found on YouTube. And then I started having lucid dreams. Those are real too, folks. And then I found myself kind of like you said, doing more and more research. I started out just about, the human race, and then I went a little here, and then a little here, and then a little here. And next thing you know, now I spend a lot of my time doing a lot of research. I want to research everything, and I want to know the truth about things.
That's how I am too now. I know that, yeah, since, my experiences and opening my eyes up, I'm the same way. I pay attention to all the fine details now, things that, I didn't pay attention to or noticed before. And, it just shows you that there are bigger things at work, you know what I mean? Here. But it takes a minute to kind of try to adjust to that when you've been thinking skeptically like I had been, for all my life. And it's right there, folks. I mean, it's
And once you know the answers, don't you think that this helps out your personal life, but I think it helps out your family members and your friends, and even like the social media world. When you know the truth about something, it can help a situation out.
Yes.
It can better a lot. I think if you start doing, once you wake up, folks, and you start doing the research on everything in your life without getting too carried away. I mean, because there is a rabbit hole you can go down, but if you keep your wits about you and realize you'll find yourself doing better in life, is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I think that I kind of miss, like I said to you earlier, I miss the bliss of being ignorant to it, really. But in the same sense, I don't. I'm glad that I've experienced what I've experienced and open my eyes up. It's helped me out to, like I said, I don't take small things for granted anymore because, like I said, there are bigger forces at work here, and we never know when our time is, how long we've got, and just, don't take things for granted, you know what I mean? And
Don't be so close-minded.
yeah, live your life, to the fullest, really. It's helped me I set goals, goals and pay attention to things with more of a fine-tooth comb now,
Sure. Sure.
Just trying to better myself,
It's a day-by-day process, brother. I feel you. I'm on the same boat there. Both of us grew up playing music together. We're both artistic people, writing songs, singing, all of that. Do we see a book or a film in the near future, or maybe even a paranormal team coming through when it comes to the Gray House? Because I know there's a bit of a rabbit hole with the Gray House, and the full story that you've shared with me. Do you see yourself doing something artistic about the story, which he does have this copywritten, folks, in case he decides to do anything of that nature, so that is protected.
I think somewhere down the lines here, maybe potentially could, have some kind of a film or something. But I am, I've been ever since the Gray House there. I, like I said, pay attention to things better now. And Doc, I am writing about this. I do.
And he's got
study.
photos. It's cool. If it's a book, guys, it's going to be awesome. The photos will blow you away.
That is what I'm working with now. I think I'd like to, write a book about this. And this is about just not that experience, but before and leading into that, and then from that point out now to where I'm at, now at this point, and things get weird, but
they do.
Things are also exciting and
Inspirational.
and yes, very inspirational.
Absolutely. Well, JC, I appreciate you, brother. And
Bub.
thanks for sharing the story. I like to, you've seen a few of my blogs. I might be turning this into a podcast, guys. And like I told you last week, I want to interview people. JC was nice enough after we busted our asses at band practice tonight to sit down, take the time, and do this interview for us. I always try to put a spin on things and try to give you guys some kind of light of positivity. And the message with this is like he told you, things are right in front of you. It's so important to do the research. Once you wake up into life, use that as a goal setter of its own. That should be the fire under your ass to get out, start researching more, right down to your physical health, your mental health, how you can better help your neighbor, better help yourself, your family members. Because look, a ghost story has inspired what I consider my brother to better his life. A ghost story, a real ghost story. So think about that. I love you, folks. Please like, share, or subscribe. Until we meet again, this is Troy Burke and JC. Take care. Goodbye.
God bless.